Canada sucks, let me explain.
Canada is officially dead.
The shit show going on here in Canada is beyond ridiculous.
What the fuck, Canada? This is so grim.
The system here in Canada for medical is disgusting.
We thought things were hard before the election. We were struggling before the election. We were broken before the election. Now we're even more broken.
Canada was once sold as a dream, a country of opportunity, stability, and dignity, a place where hard work meant security, where education opened doors, and where families could build a future. But for millions of people living here today, that dream feels broken. The reality is harsh. Rents have soared to levels that make even full-time workers feel like they're one paycheck away from homelessness. Grocery bills climb week after week, turning basic food into a luxury. Wages stagnate while the cost of living explodes. And the job market? It leaves people exhausted, juggling multiple part-time roles, or endlessly sending out applications that lead nowhere. Families are cutting back on meals. Young people are giving up on homeownership. Seniors are choosing between medication and groceries. Immigrants who came for opportunity are questioning whether they can stay. And through it all, the message from leaders is the same. Be resilient, adjust, budget better. But resilience isn't the point. People don't want to be resilient. They want to live. They want stability. They want dignity. And right now, that feels out of reach.
We thought things were hard before the election. We were struggling before the election. We were broken before the election. Now we're even more broken. Alberta's going to leave, and they're going to take quite a few provinces with them. That's where most of our money comes from, FYI. And then Quebec is going to leave because they've always wanted to leave. Newfoundland wants to go off and be its own. So what's left? Ontario? Ontario is going to make up all of Canada? I need to move. I definitely need to move.
What the fuck, Canada? This is so grim. It came out that more than 23,000 Canadians died waiting for medical care last year. And that's an increase of 3% year over year. And by the way, we're at over 100,000 people since 2018 who've died waiting for care. The worst offenders are, no surprise, Ontario #1 and Quebec #2. And then after that, you have the list of the other provinces. And before you come at me saying that we need to spend more money on healthcare to fix this issue, wrong, because we are at an all-time high, historical high of $244 billion a year spending. By the way, this represents $6,000 per person per year, which is an increase of threefold over what it was in 1990. We rank as one of the highest per capita medical spending in the G7, and yet we fall behind everyone in terms of doctors per capita, MRI machines per capita, beds per capita. And of course, our wait times are some of the highest in the developed world. And let that be a cautionary tale to the Americans who look up north thinking that our single-payer healthcare system is the best. Guys, you have it much better down there. And don't let Canadians who are brainwashed into thinking they have the best system ever tell you otherwise. Canada falls behind Germany, Switzerland, France, Sweden, Finland in terms of healthcare, and we pay more than all of them. And to Canadians, it's about time you wake up. The system is completely screwed up. And guess what? It ain't getting any better.
So as you may or may not know, Canada is officially dead. Canada is done. It had been declining steadily and heavily for 10, 11, 12 years now, but officially dead. And it's wild how so many people don't realize what's happening in their own country, where anywhere I go in the world, people hear that I'm Canadian, they're like, I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, many people down here in Costa Rica have left Canada because they realize that it is just deceased. Beyond all of the ridiculous immigration, the laws, the wokeism, the trade deals with America that is absolutely done, our economy collapsing, the freedom of speech laws that are being passed, a government that absolutely is on a trajectory to just completely implode the country. It is sad, honestly. And it's wild how more people don't realize that it's one of the most unaffordable countries. We have the worst healthcare. Soon, me being a Canadian saying this online is going to be illegal. if it's not already legal? Like, what is hate speech? It's just absolutely wild. So if you have ever considered packing up your bags, leaving Canada, getting out, renouncing your residency, you can absolutely do that. There are many places in the world that are wonderful, that are beautiful, that are affordable, where you can get great healthcare, education, although I do recommend homeschooling your kids so that they don't become brain dead like the rest of society. But yeah, there are other options. So I know so many of you that have been messaging me being like, Sam, Canada, how do I leave? It's not that hard. You just need to make a plan, pick a country, get a visa. Oftentimes you don't even need a visa. Pack up your life and move there. I always tell you that being an entrepreneur is the easiest way, so that you are not location dependent and that you are not job dependent. When you have the ability to work from anywhere in the world, it means that you can go and move anywhere in the world when you realize that your country is absolutely destroyed. So yeah, this little video is to bring awareness and to write you a permission slip that if you're not happy where you are and you realize that your country is completely an abomination, you can get up and leave. Okay, bye.
Canada sucks, let me explain. So it's usually this time of the year where I start to realize how bad Canada actually is. I just paid my taxes for the year, which I had to pay mid six figures, which I already knew Canada has one of the highest tax rates in the world, which is completely fine. I understand that. But not only that, you have taxes for things like I bought this car and I had to pay luxury tax. I bought my Ferrari 488, I had to pay luxury tax on that. On top of that, there's no incentives for business owners, entrepreneurs. Real estate prices are through the roof. The average income is still the exact same. There's no minimum wage jobs. Unemployment numbers are at all-time highs. Like, there's literally no benefit right now of staying in Canada, in my opinion. If you're someone that has big goals or you're starting to make money, a lot of my friends have already moved out to like Miami and Texas where the tax rates are super low. But right now, there's really not that many benefits of living in Canada. In the next 4 years, I really don't see much changing.
Hi guys, so I need to get on here really quick because I'm like a little all over the place. I gave birth, 5 days ago to my beautiful baby girl. That's a story that I will tell afterwards after this video. But anyways, about my birth video and what happened with the epidural and whatnot. And then blah. I'm fuming right now and my hormone level is like all over the place. I'm mad. The system here in Canada for medical is disgusting. Well, in Montreal. I don't know everywhere else in Canada. But here in Montreal, I have never... It's so bad. I'd rather be living in the States like I used to and pay for my insurance or have a copay than be here. My 3-year-old daughter, okay, for the past 4 days had a fever, on and off, and we noticed that she was complaining about a hearing aid. Today we're like, you know what, we gotta take her. There are no appointments available. They tell you, oh, go on this page called Click Secure, is where you make, Click Santé, to make your appointment. There's never an appointment available, ever, to any doctor, to any clinic, to any walk-in clinic. There's no appointments. And so if there's no appointments and you walk in, because it's a walk-in clinic, sorry, you have to go online and make an appointment. So it's not a fucking walk-in clinic, first of all. It's just a goddamn clinic and you need to make an appointment, okay? You go to the hospitals, they're like this. There's no doctors, there's no nurses, nobody's working. So you get there at 9 o'clock in the morning and you're going to be there all day. Like literally all day. My husband's there now. He got there so early. He did registration. He hasn't even done triage. He hasn't even done the nurse yet. Nobody's seen him. Then I just called him right now and he said he asked the nurse, oh, my daughter's starting to have a fever. I need Motrin for her. Well, I'm not the one I'm not allowed to give you because I'm not the nurse. I will give her charts to the nurse and see what I can do. What the fuck is that, man? I'm so upset. The system here, oh, free healthcare, fuck free healthcare. This sucks. It sucks, people. Literally, it sucks. It's so bad. I hope this goes everywhere. So just be warned. Oh, free healthcare? Yeah, we got free healthcare. They pay for a lot of shit. But you have to be dead to see a doctor, literally. And you have to be dead. And you're almost about to seeing God in order for a doctor to see you. That's how bad it is.
Everyday life in Canada has become heavy. Not because people don't want to work, not because they don't want to contribute, but because survival itself has turned into a full-time job. Rent consumes half a paycheck. Groceries eat the rest. Bills pile up quietly in the background. And when all of that is covered, there's nothing left. No savings, no relief, no joy. People aren't living anymore. They're calculating. They're rationing. They're stretching every dollar, every meal, every ounce of energy. And the toll isn't just financial. It's emotional. Stress builds. Anxiety grows. Burnout spreads. Families feel the strain. This isn't the Canada people were promised. It's not the Canada people imagined. It's a Canada where survival has replaced living, where exhaustion has replaced hope, and where dignity is slowly being eroded.
Honestly, I'm making this video just because I got a lot of DMs, and I have conversations with people if you want to be civil with me and whatnot. And a lot of people are telling me it feels like as Canada needs to go through the worst in order to wake up, and it honestly feels that way. Not many people are caring about what's going on with the country, and if they do, they're silent about it. And if you're silent about it, you're a fucking coward, because remember what happened during COVID. Do not remember that saying, science is compliance. We watched ourselves get abused like there was no tomorrow by the government. We were told by the same people who said we're a country where democratic principles are upheld, but we had no choice on what we can put into our bodies. And if we didn't, we were put into some sort of open air prison camp. I think people don't understand that Canada is supposed to be a democratic country. It's supposed to be a G7 country. And supposedly we don't even have enough funds to take care of our hospitals. We have hospitals saying that if they don't get $1 billion in funding, that they're going to go under. But somehow we have $7 billion to give to fucking non-citizens as child tax care benefits. That is absolutely insane. And the list of the atrocities can just go on and on. But I just want Canadians to sincerely dig deep down within their heart and within their own fucking memory about how, and just remember how amazing this country was. How proud you were to stand up in the morning and to sing your national anthem and not be penalized for being a proud Canadian patriot. I sound like I'm ranting and whatnot, and I shouldn't feel like this, but it feels like there's a lot of people who are just quiet. And I understand there's a certain handful of influencers who are trying to do something, and I'm not here to bash those people. But how many influencers do you really need in order to influence you to take over your country, to take it back? We sit here so docile, and in such a docile manner, and it's pretty fucking repulsive, man. We had people who were fighting for our country and died in the trenches in World War I and World War II. And then you're gonna tell me if they were to look at Canada now, they would be happy about what it's become? Honestly, and then Mark Carney yesterday, yeah, we're gonna move away from the feminization of our global foreign affair bullshit garbage. Dude, you're still talking about gender identity and politics in fucking 2026 soon. Do you understand that? We are so anchored into place because people don't want to switch their perspective, or the propaganda machine of censoring our online viewership. And now you want to dial down on influencers and their podcasts and whatnot. Maybe that's starting to have an effect, and people are actually starting to go into this senseless state of not thinking for themselves. We've seen that, and it just seems like it's growing at a bigger rate right now. How bad do things have to get here? We have people who are, we have over 900,000 people who are underwater on their mortgage. We have people who are living well beyond their means. And not only, now the average person in Canada now is spending over 50% of their income on their mortgage payment. And in cities like Toronto, it's 110%. So you can't even afford to fucking live in some shithole city that's run by a communist. And they're going to tell you, let's not forget, okay? They're telling you that you need to give more. The city of Toronto, all right, after Doug Ford said that they're going to cancel all these speed cameras, we're going to ban them, they said, well, we need someone to pay up for the programs that it covered. This is the same fucking city that just increased their property taxes how many fucking times? And they're going to look at you and say, we need more money because we can't handle it ourselves. We can't figure out how to make a proper program. We can't figure out how to create jobs. We can't even create a safe city. You got people smoking crack there's no fucking tomorrow in the streets. Whether it's here in Hamilton, and you're going to tell us that, yeah, everything's fucking fine. Come on, man. Canada's used to be such a great country to live in, and it can still be that way. But it's going to take a collective effort from all of us. It's not us bowing down to these political parties that make all these promises and never deliver. Let's not forget, we gave Doug Ford how many chances? Even after COVID, this guy fucking decimated small businesses in Ontario, did one thing and said one thing and does the other. And you want to tell us that what conservatives are gonna change this world for us? Don't forget, these are the same conservatives that were so quiet during COVID that their backbench didn't even make a fucking sound while you fucking dwindled away because of their restrictions, because of the mentality they were putting onto people. They split families, they broke homes, they broke businesses, they broke the back of every fucking Canadian. You're gonna look at these people like they're this fucking solution. They are not the solution. I want Canadians to understand that you are the solution, yet they make you feel like the problem. For what? Because of their irresponsible spending, because of their irresponsible policies, because of their irresponsible migration policies, and the list goes on and on. This is not our fault. We are the solution, not them. They are the ones who put us here in the fucking beginning.
Canada was once marketed as a dream, a place of opportunity, fairness, and stability. But for many, that dream has collapsed into something unrecognizable. Young people look at housing prices and realize they may never own a home. Parents watch grocery bills climb and wonder how they'll feed their children. Seniors who work their whole lives are forced back into the workforce just to afford medication. Immigrants who came for opportunity are questioning whether they can stay. The dream of Canada has been replaced by fatigue, by endless work with little reward, by a system that demands everything and gives back so little. And the worst part? People are told to be grateful, to stop complaining, to adjust. But adjustment isn't the answer, because no amount of budgeting or resilience can fix a system that's broken at its core. This isn't just about economics. It's about dignity. It's about the right to live without constant fear, without constant exhaustion, without constant struggle. And until that changes, the dream will remain broken.
Hey guys, I'm gonna make this video because you know what? The shit show going on here in Canada is beyond ridiculous. Now, we all know the little strife that's going on with the American, Donald Trump imposing tariffs on Canada, Canadians backlashing back and forth, whatever, and the ongoing, I guess, joke for Canada to be the 51st state. Although, there's a lot of political strife and joking going on, I'm here to tell you, whether or not Canada is up for sale, it should be up for sale. I'm going to explain a lot. In my half a century of being alive here, being in business, working various jobs and all that, it's actually, believe it or not, it would be beneficial for Canada just to come on board and be one big conglomerate country, a North American country. Here's why. You see, a lot of the manufacturing base in Canada has left. There's very few businesses out there that are even producing. Okay? I'm one of the last few manufacturers who frankly has had enough. While everybody else is leaving, I'm seeing businesses flocking to the yes, it's just not worth it here. I actually decided to cave in also. Okay? What does this mean for Canada? We don't have an economic base. We don't. There's only a few sectors, like in the mining industry, the supply of goods, and that's it. That's all we got. The majority of our, I guess, GDP is in fucking sales and retail bullshit. Nowadays, that shit's online. It's virtual. So there is no manufacturing base, and what that means is people are out of a job. Regardless of what you hear or the statistics you hear from the government, their fucking unemployment rate is low and all, that's complete bullshit. They're just fucking around with the numbers. I'm here to tell you, manufacturing and a lot of businesses, we've had enough. it's very difficult to make a buck here because when you make that buck, you're taxed at double the rate. So you're not making money. And a lot of the manufacturing, so to speak, is not for the Canadian consumers or industry, because there isn't any. We export to the US. And that's the problem. There are a lot of people in business who've realized, especially after the pandemic, who've realized I've wasted an entire life striving, to make a good living, to make a goal, be successful. We're all in the same boat, to the point where time isn't in our favor. We're getting old. For myself, I've got 10 years until I retire. And then you look back and wonder, you know what? I think enough is enough. We got to go to the US. If you're going to make any money, you have to go. You have to go to a district that it's cheaper to operate. Less taxes, less burden. That's it. And that's the realization. So what does that leave the average Canadians who can't leave? There are no jobs. There's no economic prospect for the average person, the average worker. We have nothing here. Unless you're in specific industries, again, like the resource sector, you're not going to do well. I'm seeing even a lot of like retail and especially restaurants, they're leaving. Of course, nobody can afford to go and eat. That's not even a viable industry to open up a fucking restaurant. It's not. Find something else to do. But here's the thing, there isn't. Manufacturing, production, labor, skill work, they're all moving. You make more money in the US. And if you're selling already to the US, you'd be stupid to continue operating here in Canada when you can go there where it's cheaper, and especially with all these tariffs, you won't have any tariffs. You're based in the US, and that's what I'm doing. I've already set up shop. We're in the final process. I got a place, address in the US, whatever. Now it's a matter of just how to organize for a little while, for a year or two, a couple of years, to, the travel and that kind of the logistics of that. But I've had enough, man. Fuck it. You're not making money. You think it's through my personal experience. When times are good or they get good, something happens, especially on the government level, where it's like, bam, somehow they fuck you over, and then it turns around, it gets better again, and then bam, you get fucked over again. How many times can industry continue to take it up the ass being fucked over? So with regards to Canada, like, guys, if you have the opportunity just to get the fuck out, go. We will not even be in recovery mode after the shit show politics with the fucking Liberal government and fucking Dickwad Trudeau. Even if another party gets in, like the Conservatives, it's going to be decades by the time we even see a glimmer of any recovery. But for a lot of us, time is up. I'm not going to wait 10 years to find a sign to recover, where it's that time for me to call it quits, to retire. Like, it makes zero fucking sense. When you see the recovery, the prospect of that in 10 years, fuck it, I don't have 10 years. I'm going to go down, make my fucking money, and that's it. And that's all industry. They're all flocking. My partners, my partners, like even the contacts, they're already based in the States, and that's where I'm headed. Guys, Canada has nothing to offer the people, the citizens, with regards to work environment and living. Okay? So if you're out there thinking of, I don't know, immigrating here, don't even fucking bother. You're gonna have a tough time the second you step in this country. My advice to a lot of Canadians, if you're in an industry or some other job where you're doing okay and you're getting old and fine, you could stay, just bear it and all that. But for a lot of people, we just had enough getting the shaft up the wazoo by our fucking government, the incompetence and negligence of our government. Enough. No. So for myself and a lot of the industry, I feel sorry for Canada and the citizens who frankly are gonna be hard struck to even find a fucking job. The unemployment, don't listen to the government. The unemployment is extremely high. The numbers are being fudged. Okay, they're being fucking fudged. And I know that firsthand. Alright? So good luck, Canada, man. I'd jump ship. I'd fucking jump ship. Go to the US, man. That's where you're gonna make your wealth, you make your fortunes, make your money, and a good living. Regardless of what you think about the people over there, it's a different breed of people, but economically and financially and, being a success, fuck it. Fuck Canada. Go to the US, man. That's it.
So here we are. We've walked through the exhaustion. We've heard the frustration. We've seen the cracks in the promise. This is Canada today. Not the dream, not the postcard, not the myth, the reality. A reality where millions of people are tired. Tired of working endlessly. Tired of struggling silently. Tired of living in a system that feels broken. Because this isn't just about long hours or high bills. It's about fatigue, deep, relentless fatigue. The kind that seeps into every part of life. The kind that makes people question whether this is really living. For decades, Canada sold itself as a land of opportunity. A place where hard work meant stability. Where education opened doors. Where immigrants could build a future. But today, that promise feels hollow. People are working harder than ever, and yet they're falling further behind. They're exhausted from jobs that don't pay enough, housing that costs too much, and a system that demands more while giving less. And the result? A nation that feels tired. Not just physically tired, emotionally tired, spiritually tired, tired of the grind, tired of the cycle, tired of pretending everything is fine when it's not. Let's talk about that grind. Canadians wake up every day to the same routine. Work, commute, bills, repeat. And for many, it feels less like living and more like grinding down. The hours are long. The pay is stagnant. The cost of everything keeps climbing. And the reward? Barely enough to cover rent, groceries, and utilities. It's not just physical exhaustion. It's emotional. People are tired of working harder and harder, only to feel like they're standing still. They're tired of sacrificing weekends, family time, and mental health just to keep up with a system that keeps moving the goalposts. And the irony? Canada is supposed to be one of the best places to live. But what does best mean when people are burning out, breaking down, and questioning whether they can afford to stay? This isn't laziness. This isn't entitlement. It's fatigue. Deep, relentless fatigue from a system that demands everything and gives back so little. And when exhaustion becomes the national mood, it's not just a personal problem, it's a collective crisis. For many Canadians, life feels like survival mode. You work to pay rent, you work to buy food, you work to cover bills, and when all that's done, there's nothing left. No savings, no rest, no joy. Vacations? Out of reach. Home ownership? A fantasy. Even simple pleasures like going out for dinner or buying fresh produce feel like luxuries. So people cut back. They skip meals. They skip outings. They skip living. And slowly, the line between surviving and living disappears. The emotional toll is heavy. Stress builds. Anxiety grows. Burnout spreads. And people start asking themselves, is this really what life in Canada is supposed to be? Because when work consumes everything, When bills erase paychecks, when exhaustion replaces hope, life loses meaning. And that's why Canadians are tired. Not just tired from long hours, but tired of a system that makes living feel impossible. This isn't just about economics. It's about dignity. About the right to live without constant fear, without constant exhaustion, without constant struggle. And until that changes, the fatigue will only grow. Let's talk about dignity, because that's what this crisis is really stealing. It's not just about money. It's about feeling human, feeling safe, feeling like you matter. And when you're constantly choosing between rent and food, when you're skipping meals, when you're hiding your struggles, it chips away at your soul.